Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Cornerz from Didier Gervy. Now, I hope I've pronounced that name correctly. All right, I have pre-populated my little bijou tile with a little border. This one is a grid pattern, and I'm thinking you could. I don't know that it matters. I'm going to do this on the diagonal. I think I've done it before, with a straight grid. But, sometimes it's fun to just do things a little different. And usually my grids are, here's my square, and they're, square to the square. And so this time we'll do it the other way. All right. And see, trying a little bit different configuration here, and I just want to make sure that that everything can be seen. Okay, so that's one direction. You know what? Maybe just back a little bit off. Okay, and now the other direction, and I want them to be squares. Or to be, square-ish, and then of course it depends on which way you look at it. So when I'm setting this line, I kind of picture what the square looks like as I'm putting my pen down, just to try to avoid real rectangle-y looking ones. All right. And it's almost like I can see it in my peripheral vision, sort of. Okay, there we go. Then, and this one has a little bit of randomness, but because it's kind of in a grid, for me, who usually has a challenge with randomness, because I think too much about it, I think is what the problem is, this is a little easier. So just start anywhere. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put curved lines, and what I've been doing is from the middle of, pick a box, and then, pick which corner. We're gonna go here. So we're gonna go from do the right and left sides. So what I'm doing is I'm picking from, kind of going from middle to middle and making a nice curved line like that. If you did a grid, this way, turn it like 90 degrees like this, so that way you're looking at it as a diamond. And so then just doing the right and lefts, randomly draw in just some corners, however you want them. They can be touching if you want, like this. I just have to make sure to look at the box, because there was some times where, as I was goofing around with it, that I was like, oh, whoops, how did I miss that? And just random again, and as many as you want, because we are going to turn it. Oh, and I put one right here. That one is covered. Then let's do one here, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so once you have enough, and again, no rhyme or reason for this. It's just however you want it. Then I'm going to turn the tile 90 degrees and do the same thing. This time, though, let's see. I guess I can start. I'll start here. It doesn't matter where you start. It's just one of those. Just want to make sure that I get all of them. When you come to one, so like here, where you're going to be connecting, just look for where you're connecting, so that way you can start your pen right there. And then make your curved line. And then I'm just going to come down one, and so that one is full. Okay, this one. And again, it just helps to turn the tile and think, well, you're doing the same thing all over again, rinse and repeat, right? But we've just turned the tile, and that makes life a little bit easier. And you see how it just ends up with some really neat things. Oh, and this one's going to just make an orb. Oops, and I wait, let's see. Filled. This is where it's like, okay, totally missed this one. And then, because I have little partial boxes, still do them, Oops, and then I completely missed this row. And here. I think I got them all. It's hard when you go back and you're like, okay, you know, and two, I mean, if depending on where these are, sometimes I would put like just a little bump if that's all that would be. Actually, I'm going to finish that. There we go. That makes me happy. Okay, I think I got it. Now, couple things you can do. I'm going to do shading first because you can have it be just like this, and that's it. And you don't even have to add shading, as I say quite frequently, right? You don't have to do the shading if you don't want to. But if you want to, here's one way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting, and this also is kind of random. I'm kind of going with, you know, where these rounded parts are. And like here, I think I'll do the whole thing. This is one of those where I don't know. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason. But, you know, it's kind of like pick one side. And maybe that, you know, maybe that's what I've done. Sometimes you do things too quick, or I do anyway. And not necessarily thinking about it to analyze it. Normally, I like to do that because that's what makes for good instruction. But sometimes you just start going and then, okay, well, let me think about it for a minute. But I think pick one side and then, yeah. You know, and because I picked the curve because otherwise, to me, it doesn't make sense to do out here because it doesn't make sense to do it out there. On the inside of the curves makes sense. All right, and then we're just going to spread it out a little bit with the tortillon. And that one's just, it is just going to be a full, you know, orb. But, you know, too, however you decide to do it is going to be great. Oh. And then I like to have the point of the tortillon on that graphite line. And, you know, it's having a neat effect doing it like this. I'm kind of liking it. No. I do try a lot of times to like, okay, let's get all of the shading done and then turn the tile, and for whatever reason, sometimes that just doesn't happen. Yeah, and there we have it, nicely shaded. Something else you could do with this, if you like, is you could decorate. You could decorate, well, however you can think to do it. Here's one or two ways that that I have done that. And I you know, it's like I did it over the shading because I think it's kind of neat to see the shading first, and you can always, you know, draw right over it. Okay, so taking this one, we can do straight lines. And the way I like to do that is, we'll draw over to the side here so you can see the point. All right, is I'll subdivide and subdivide again and again. And let's do it over here as well. And like so. Or you could, let's see, we'll just do a couple here. You could do aura-ing. And now for this, if you want, you could just aura this whole section carefully and then aura it again. Or you could just, you know, stop at every cross line, you know, every grid line. And you can do like that. Whatever way strikes you to do, you can do. And just have fun. Or like I said, I almost kind of like it without. And I am sure there are a ton of other ways. Ooh, for instance, what just popped into my head here is I could do an aura. And then fill in with orbs. So like a little tipple. Like so. And of course, if you do that, make sure to fill in those little gaps. You know, so a couple ways to do that. Anything you can think of. So that is Cornerz. I think it's just it's a neat tangle. It's kind of like a maze sort of you know, in a curvy kind of way, and I think it's really neat. So with that, if you enjoyed this, would love to have a thumbs up, a like, and also if you like it enough to maybe see more, would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel. You can either, this is being viewed on Instagram as well as YouTube, so you can, you know, follow or subscribe, whichever one is applicable. And who knows, I might get these on some other sharing platforms as well. But subscriptions. Subscriptions are greatly appreciated. You know, the basic like, share, subscribe, all of that, and just share the joy of Zentangle. This is a fun one that could be a neat fill in for any kind of section, or it could even just be you know, a neat overall theme. Really, really cool. Let's see. Oh, in the description section, we have links to my step out, as well as to where this is found on Tangle Patterns, because that's where I found it. And because I want to make sure that you can see right from the originator's hand and see some of their samples and things like that. So I like to make sure to have those available to you. So those are in the description section. And also below those are ways to connect with me. If you like this, if you like my style, maybe you want to join in on one of my Tangle Times, which are on Thursday. They are free. I do a combination of paid and free classes, mostly free, but through mainly through my Tangle Addicts Club, which is a membership club. I'm losing my head as I'm talking. Anyway, that helps to support doing all of the content that I do. If you're interested in that, do take a look. It's all on my website, and would love to connect with you and see the beautiful work that you're doing. All right, with that, thanks so much, and I wish you happy tangling.